Hey YouTube, how you doing? Big E here, how's everything? And welcome to another movie review. Today's movie review I'm going to be reviewing is a movie that I really enjoy. It was released to direct to video and DVD, but I still enjoy it. If you like old school Nickelodeon like I do, especially Nick Jr. like I did do, the old school at least, like Blue's Clues, Little Bear, Gullah Gullah Island, Dora the Explorer, Eureka's Casserole, Allegra's Window, Franklin, Little Bill, Max and Ruby, like me, who grew up on all that stuff. I'm reviewing a movie that I really enjoyed. Yep, it's called Blue's Big Musical Movie. Yep. Blue's Big Musical Movie was released in the fall of 2000, and it's directed by Todd Kessler, who's also worked on the show. However, the movie was released on VHS and DVD in October of 2000. It also aired on TV, starting with a primetime premiere on Nickelodeon in 2002. Also, the whole cast from Blue's Clues, especially the voice talents, reprised their roles in the movie. Like Steve Burns, we all know he is as Steve, and co-creator Tracy Page Johnson reprises her role, as we all know, as the dog named Blue. And there's Blue right there. And Nick Babylon reprises his role as Mr. Salt, and Spencer Caden as Mrs. Pepper, and Michael Rubin, who is one of the producers, I believe, on Blue's Clues. He voices Mailbox, and this has a bunch of other actors who reprise their roles from Blue's Clues in the series in this movie, and all did a very good job. Even I love Michael Rubin as Mailbox, and when I used to watch Blue's Clues, I remember that here's the man that mail, and that we just got a letter. We just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. The plot of this film is where Steve and Blue and their friends and Mr. Salt and Mrs. such as Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper and Paprika, Tickety Tock. There's Side Table Drawer, Periwinkle, Tickety Tock, Slippery Soap, and their other friends. They get ready to put on a music show, talent show, kind of like. And we all know the cat named Periwinkle thought it was a magic show, but it's not throughout the movie until the end, and it shows until the end, and he shows his magic tricks to everybody so he could get into the show, and that's when he realized it's a music show. It's not a magic show, it's actually a music show. And meanwhile, Steve is playing Blue's Clues with his handy dandy notebook to find 3 clues and figure out who can be Blue's singing partner in the music show. And the 3 clues are Steve's notebook, a knob, and a drawer. And then eventually in the end it combines all 3 clues, and they discover all those clues were Side Table Drawer. And then eventually Side Table Drawer was picked to be Blue's partner. And mostly in this movie, Side Table Drawer was feeling left out because she was too shy to ask Steve about performing in the music show until Steve and Blue tell her they want her to be Blue's partner in the show. In the Skadooch segment, Steve goes looking for the notes for the show, and you get a musical note right here named G Clef, and he's in the film. And the other notes, well, Ray Charles did the voice of G Clef, and the notes were the Persuasions. They did a pretty good job. They did a very fantastic job in this film. And then they helped Steve pick out good music, like lyrics and notes for the song, and then the story continues and they go forward, and then eventually they do have the music show, and it was a big success. And I love the song. Everybody was singing that I could be anything that I want to be. I could be anything that I want to be. Yep, I really think they did a pretty good job, especially for back in the day. And the other songs, like like There It Is and everything, and whoever came up with the song, wrote the song, did a pretty good job. The I Can Be, and like I said, the whole voice cast was pretty cool, and Steve Burns, Tracy Page Johnson did pretty good, and especially Ray Charles did a pretty good job as G Clef, and Ray Charles deserved an award for like this, and although there was no villains in this film at all, but I mean, it's not like a real movie, but it was still decent to watch, and it's watchable in my opinion. And however, a year and a half after this movie was released, because we all know Blue's Clues was on from 1996 to 2006 on the Nick Jr. Nickelodeon, and from 96 to 2002, Steve Burns was on as Steve. We all know 1.5 year later after this was released, a guy named Joe, who was Steve's brother in the show, and Joe was played by Donovan Patton. He came on the show and he took over when Steve went to college, and Joe was on all the way until. Since that time, all the way until Blue's Clues ended in 2006. I liked Joe in some cases. He was okay. I had nothing to get, but I still think Steve will always be the best. However, I guess later in 2002, I guess a few episodes after Joe replaced Steve, Steve made a guest appearance. So, yeah. And this is and I really love Blue's Clues. Even I love the animation slash live action hybrid, especially for 2000. And the songs and everything, they were pretty cool. And they did have a newer Blue's Clues like a decade later after the original show ended. It wasn't as good. It's not. I've seen like maybe one or two episodes, but it wasn't as good as the original. So, but you know, it's a pretty it's a classic, and I give this film 4 out of 5 stars. When I have kids someday, I want to tell them about Blue's Clues, not just this, but the series as well, and how much I enjoyed it. And also, this film has a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and see, on Rotten Tomatoes, it doesn't have a score on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't believe. Actually, yes, it does. I know it don't. On the tomato meter, it don't, but on the popcorn meter, it has an 82%. People liked it. And I know I'm one of them. I liked, yeah, so, yeah, it's a classic, so, and I do recommend this film, recommend to see it, so, if you've never seen it before, go check it out. Alright, YouTube. Nice seeing you. Take it easy, be safe, and stay out of trouble. Peace.